Henry opened his eyes to find himself in a somewhat strange environment. He was laying on a flat surface, which was supposed to be a bed, but he wasn't sure as it seemed as a wood. He was yet to sit up when he saw the image of an hourglass figure coming towards his room from the living room. She was holding a lamp. "You're awake," her tiny voice rang in a happy tone as she walked in. "Where is this place and what am I doing here?" Henry asked. He visited a site in a rural community with a team of 5 men from the Alexander Group of companies. They had come to check out a site where they intend to build a new refinery for the company. During the inspection, a group of unknown gunmen had suddenly attacked. Henry and his men were outnumbered, and so they had to run for their dear lives. He got a shot on the shoulder while running, but was still able to escape. He fainted after running for a few minutes as his strength could not carry him. "You've been here since yesterday. You fainted in the bush and had to call someone to help me bring you home. I live here with my mother," the lady's voice answered. "You must be hungry. Let me get you something to eat." He looked at his bare chest and saw a piece of cloth covering the wound on his shoulder. Camille soon returned with the food in a tray with Beatrice and mother following her behind. "I am glad to see that you are finally awake," said Beatrice. After eating, Henry thanked them and asked if he could use their phone to make a call. Back at home, Bernard and Elizabeth, Henry's parents, were already worried and had all sorts of thoughts going through their minds. So when Elizabeth's phone rang with a strange number, they thought the call was from kidnappers and were relieved to hear Henry's voice on the phone. "Honey, where are you? We've been so worried since we heard of the accident," said Elizabeth, Henry's mother. On hearing that the call was from Henry, Bernard, who was confined to a wheelchair due to some illness, signaled to his wife to put the phone on speaker. "My son, good to hear from you. We will come and get you as soon as possible, son," Bernard said. The next morning, Elizabeth and Lillian, Henry's snobbish girlfriend, went to Okoko village in company of 4 bodyguards, 3 drivers in 3 different Land Cruiser SUVs, and 2 police vehicles. The people of Okoko village were surprised to see such convoy and trooped out in numbers to see what was going on. When they got to the house of Camille and Beatrice, Camille had gone to work. Beatrice was surprised to see so many cars at the same time in front of her house as she peeped through the window. "They have come for me," Henry said behind Beatrice. That made her wonder who he was. They went outside to meet Henry's family. Elizabeth expressed her gratitude to the family for saving the life of her son and offered Beatrice some money, but she turned down the offer, saying she offered to help because the person needed the help and not because of what she stands to gain, even though they didn't know who the person was. Lillian was happy to see Henry, but didn't say much to Beatrice, but only wondered how someone could be so poor that they had to live in a house like this. "This house looks like it will collapse anytime soon. We need to leave this place," Lillian whispered to Henry. Beatrice overheard her, but didn't think so much about it. It was what she could afford at the time and was looking forward to making some repairs. Soon, Henry and his family returned to their home in Boulevard Estates to a warm welcome by his father, his aunts, Celine, and her 2 children, Alex and Sandra, with many domestic staff and bodyguards. Bernard was so happy that his only child and heir to his empire was back in good condition and thought it wise to host the people that made it possible, since they didn't want any cash reward. Bernard's 60th birthday is in 2 days, and he said he didn't want any ceremony, but just a dinner with his family, and of course, Camille and Beatrice, to show their appreciation. "Come on, honey, aren't you going too far? These people are just peasants that should remain in their place," said Elizabeth. But Bernard insisted that that was what he wanted for his birthday and will be happy if Henry could make it happen. This didn't sit well with every other member of the family, but there was little or nothing they could do about it, especially because Bernard's happiness was paramount to most of them, so to say. After so much plea and persuasion, Camille and Beatrice agreed to attend Bernard's 60th birthday dinner. Everybody except Bernard did not fail to express their disgust and disapproval of their presence at such family time and dinner party. Only Bernard made them feel welcome. Even Henry was not left out. At the end of the dinner, Bernard made a weird announcement. Attention, everyone. I'd like to appreciate the presence of Camille and her mother, Beatrice, who God has used to save the life of my son. Without your timely intervention, Henry won't be here with us today. We will forever be grateful to you. I would like to ask you for one more favor. This could be my last wish, and I will be happy if my wish is granted. I want Camille to marry my son, Henry, and I want the wedding to take place in 1 week. Everyone at the table, including Henry, were dumbfounded on hearing this strange announcement. They were not sure if they had heard right. What are you saying, honey? You know Henry has a fiancée he wants to get married to. They've known each other for a long time, said Elizabeth. Your wife is right, sir. My daughter cannot get married to someone he doesn't know. Besides, Camille is still too young to get married now, said Beatrice. Bernard stayed silent for a few seconds to process his thoughts before speaking again. I know they just met, but they are perfect for each other. They just need to agree and work together. I can give anything to make sure that the marriage between them works, Bernard said, looking at Camille. I'm so sorry, sir. I cannot marry your son, and I and my family do not need anything from you. With due respect, sir, we would like to take our leave, said Camille, as she and her mother made for the door. Bernard pleaded for them to stay the night, that it was too late and that he had prepared a room for them to stay already, but they insisted on leaving. So Bernard ordered one of his drivers to take them home with a bodyguard. After, the rest of the family went to bed. The next morning, Bernard called Henry into his room to convince him on why he thinks he should marry Camille. Though Henry does not seem to understand why his father wants him to marry Camille, but just had to do according to his wish in order not to complicate his health further. So he came up with an idea. Since his father barely has up to 6 months to live, he will make a deal to get married to Camille for 6 months and thereafter divorce her. He was willing to offer her $1 million for that to happen. When Camille heard his offer, she told him not to ever call her or her mother again, since he and his snobbish family sees them as commodity that can be bought with money. Henry tried everything possible, but to no avail. This made Bernard's health grow worse. Henry loves his father so much and was willing to do whatever it takes to make him live long. But this time, his father is asking for too much, and he doesn't know how to go about it. One fateful day, back in Okoko village, Camille was at work. She works in a factory. She got a call that her mother was at the hospital. What happened, she asked. Their house had collapsed while her mother was inside, and that her attention was needed urgently. This made her feel so bad. Her mother had been her only family since the death of her father. Her mother worked so hard to ensure that she gets a good life, but unfortunately, tragedy struck when she became sick and had to stop working. Now Camille had to work hard to fend for both of them. She went to the manager to explain what had happened to him and also ask for a loan. But the manager only gave her money for the part of the month she had worked. When she got to the hospital, she could not recognize her mother anymore, as she was covered in bandage. Only her eyes were visible. She was unconscious and on a life support machine. The doctor told her to go and make a deposit of $5,000 so that they can continue treating her within 2 hours, or else they will have to remove her from the machine. Camille had only $500 on her. What can she do? Thank you for listening to our story. Watch out for the next episode. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel. See you next time. Bye for now.